What's up, everyone? This is my sixth video trying to play through this game. As you've seen before, I do have a password code, so I'm going to go ahead and run that in. If I can read my writing. Alright, let's see what we have. If you remember the last video, which was a couple weeks ago actually now, had a little bit of a breakthrough. Got to this here level. So let's see how much further I can get here. It'd be amazing if basically I could get through this level on this try. Because that last level took me a bunch of playthroughs, basically 3 whole videos, about 45 minutes each. That's multiple saves and starts. Sorry about that. Had to clear my throat for a moment. I still hate these things. This level seems to be loaded with them. Keep the face I'm taking here. Luckily that leap, I was able to be safe with it. So I'm gonna get up here. I remember. Oh gosh darn it. I remember this part. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I wish those little things were actual shortcuts or things that give you something that might make the game easier instead of getting pushed off in a frozen state into spikes. Oh wow, that's a new level of fuckery. Yep. That's a whole new level. Fuck them. I'm rather sucking tonight. 4 minutes in and I'm already down to my last, well, there you go. Yeah, I'll try again, I guess. It's weird, you're so used to hitting the X button or where the X button would be through like 3 generations of gaming that you forget that different systems and different games you'd start it with a different button. So I always automatically hit that X button. Like muscle memory. That thing. I knew I was dying there. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't know how he froze me, but sure. One of the things that plagues this game is the bad mechanics to it. Makes a difficult game even more difficult. It's not really bad mechanics even, it's just weird shit it does at times. Like for instance, sometimes you can do a jump and it'll be perfect, and do the exact same jump and come up short the next time you try it. Oh, that was all pure luck right there. Crap. Stuck there. Frustrating game. If you haven't been watching, you're wondering why I'm doing that jump spin attack. If you notice, it makes your lightsaber fly a longer distance, and it also is like a multiple attack at once. So there's benefits of doing that, even though it looks kind of silly in some parts. Yeah. That was all pure luck there. But what the fuck? Now we actually got bears? Alright. That's a new wrinkle. Bears seem to be easier than the other abomination. As I say that, they give me another one to fight, of course. That's another thing if you're not familiar with this game. You can't just stay in one area trying to do something. Well, you can, but the same bad guys will keep respawning and respawning. So you're constantly having to fight for your life. Dang it. Yep, I knew that was coming. Isn't that funny how mine wasn't hitting him, but I guarantee if there was a similar mechanic going my way, I'd be straight up dead. This is where I need to go up. Maybe not. That was pure luck. No! Damn you, bear. If there's any cheat codes for this. By the way, if I haven't mentioned, I do like to mention this every one of these videos I do. This was recommended, suggested I do from my good friend Paul Pickett over at Gamers Never Grow Up. Go check them out. Awesome guy, awesome dude. I've known Paul for about a decade now, and all our interactions have actually been online, except for about was the day before Thanksgiving. Was it the day before Thanksgiving? It was either the I think it was Wednesday. My days get a little mixed up, but the day before Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was, cause yeah, day before Thanksgiving. Sorry about that little ramble for a second. Wednesday, Paul and his family, his lovely family, were down here in Florida for vacation, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. So me and my friend Gary, who if you're a long time follower of the channel, you may remember Gary. He was in most of the early videos. Still a really great friend of mine. Unfortunately, his work schedule doesn't allow him to do many videos anymore, but I digress. We took the journey to go meet Paul and meet his lovely family in person for the first time, which was awesome. They bought us lunch at a nice little Chinese buffet, or not lunch but dinner actually, by the time we got there. Got to meet Lita and Jane, both were lovely. And then after dinner, Jane said, "Why don't you boys go out and play, and us girls are going to stay here at the hotel." So we kind of went over, and I wanted to record it, but it was too late at night and everything was dark. We went over to Hogan's Beach Shop, which is Hulk Hogan's store in Orlando. He has another one also in Clearwater, Florida. And this was the first time that I've been there, and this is the first time Gary's been there. Gary's actually was a huge Hogan fan back in the day. And I never really, Hogan wasn't my favorite, but it was really, really cool seeing all the stuff they had in there. They have Hulk Hogan memorabilia, of course. They have Jimmy Hart suits, the Viper that Hogan drove in the parade and to announce he was coming to WCW. The NWO bike, motorcycle, and then one of Savage's hats. The gentleman that was working at the counter, I don't remember his name. I do apologize. He was a really nice kid, a younger kid in his early 20s, who's actually told us he was training with the Dudley Boys to become a wrestler, which is really awesome because I love the Dudley Boys, greatest tag team of all time, bar none. I will always say that. And he's like, well, you guys seem to like wrestling, because we were fanboying out about all the memorabilia and all the stuff. I mean, they had the NWO belt with the spray painted on thing. They had the belt that Hogan wore as Thunderlips and Rocky. They had the belt he wore to the ring at WrestleMania 3. Like, the actual belt's not just the replicas. Which they had those too. They had replicas and all. And he went to the back for a moment, and then he came back in. When he came back in, he brought a pair of Andre the Giant's wrestling trunks, like his actual wrestling trunks, which was astounding. The crazy thing about it is, I'm a big guy, I'm about 400 pounds, and he holds up these wrestling trunks, and it looks literally like you could fit two of me in them. I mean, I know Andre was big, and it's the famous shot of him holding a can of soda, and it looks, or not a can of soda, a can of beer actually, but it looks like a thimble in his hand. And looking at those trunks, it's just, you don't really realize watching on TV, and I had seen Andre when I was a child, how exactly huge he really was, and when you see something like that, like I'm a very large man, and Paul and Gary are not small either. They're both larger gentlemen, and you probably could have fit all three of us into the trunks. It was just crazy. It was a really nice place. I want to go back there sometime when I have a ton of money, because they have a ton of really cool stuff. I ended up getting two shot glasses. One's in the style of the Hollywood Hulk Hogan NWO t-shirt, and the other is a Hogan Beach Shop shot glass that it's a cartoon of Hogan and Andre hanging out on the beach, which is really cool too. And both things were really cool. The whole thing was cool. And then after that, we went over to the mall there. I'm sorry if you're not familiar with these. I don't do these live, so I'm not talking to anybody. So I'm just basically running a stream of conscious. Me, Paul, and Gary went over to the mall. And, just kind of hang out, drove around a little bit, shot the shit, talked shit about each other, basic stuff that guys do when they get together. Talked about each other's moms, talked about each other, all that good fun stuff. But we went to the mall, checked out a few things. Gary got some Funko Pops he was looking for his girlfriend's Christmas present. I didn't actually pick up anything in the mall. They had a retro gaming store in there, but it was terrible. I don't want to mention the name because I don't know if it was just, we're talking the day before Thanksgiving, so basically just before Black Friday, so I don't know if they maybe didn't have all their best stuff out. They had some nice stuff in some higher end and things that were in cases. But a lot of what they had out was all sports games, Madden 2001, Madden 95, NHL 97, which, some of those are really good games. They really are. I'm not trying to knock them, but it's not really what I was there looking for. I was looking to get something cool, like, find a Michael Jackson's Moonwalker or something, something cool like that. But I digress. Anyway, I don't want to knock the story. They did have some really nice deals on systems. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the market to buy a system. I just wanted to pick up a couple games, but they didn't have any that I needed, so I didn't end up picking nothing. Funny thing is Paul came from that day. He went to Universal Studios with the family, walked around all day, and then we grab him and we hang out, and we basically have him walking around a mall that's probably added another mile or two onto his wear and tear that night. But it still was fun. I think he had more fun than we all did. We had a lot of fun. It was a great time seeing Paul, actually meeting him in person and meeting Lena and Jane, even though it was briefly. I kind of wish I could have spent, a couple more days up there with them. But, they were doing the family thing too, so they don't need another tag along. But they were really, really great, down-to-earth people. I knew they were. Like I said, I've known them for a decade. We initially met on the Philadelphia Flyers message board back when that was actually a thing that people did, and we went on message boards and talked on there. That's how I first got to know him, and then Paul started doing, at that time, he had a channel he was working with called Noodles on His Card Hut. And that was the inception. Then he went to a couple different iterations and a couple different things he did, and I think Quiznos Best was one. If you follow along with Paul, you know his exploits. I'm not going to run through it, but he was the actual inspiration for me to go on start Heel Heat. Me and I'd watched a lot of Paul's videos, and I thought, this guy's really cool. I like what he's saying, and I talked to him about it, and he said, "Well, why don't you do something like that?" So I did. I said, and now I'm branching out a little more 6 years later. But at first I said, there wasn't a lot of wrestling commentary shows on YouTube at the time. There wasn't What Culture or Cultaholic. They didn't have a big presence. There was a few here and there, and I said, this is something I'm passionate about, something I know a lot about, so let me and Gary talked about it, because Gary wanted in too, because Gary knew Paul as well, and actually Gary met Paul or started talking to Paul after the show started. But I mentioned to Gary, and I said, let's do this, let's talk about wrestling, and we did, and 6 years later I'm still doing YouTube videos, and Gary probably would be too if he wasn't working 6 days a week, kind of 12-hour days, which is why he's not. Just so you guys know, there's no heat, no animosity between us. We're still really good friends. And so it's really cool to have that come full circle. Having us meet him, and maybe what I'll do when I edit this video, or I don't really edit this, but I just cut out me starting the recording and me ending the recording. so you don't hear all that stupid noise and clunkiness. Maybe I'll go to Paul's web or Facebook, grab the picture of the three of us together and put it up so you can see all three of us in one area at one time. It was kind of awesome, actually. Big shout out to Paul. Big shout out to Lead and Jane for letting us borrow him for a little while. Huge shout out to Gary for being my running buddy on that. Because the traffic was horrible, as you can imagine, going to a town like Orlando, you know, vacation capital of the world, the day before a holiday. And what normally would take us an hour, hour and a half, hour 15 minutes, took us 2 hours to get there. And Gary did all the driving because, you know, he normally does. He usually leaves the wheel, man. Used to be because I had bad eyesight, but now it's just a custom. But overall, it was a great time to be had by all. Man, I suck at this game. Well, I'm at a shout out to Rich too over at Gamers Never Grow Up. Another cool dude. Another guy I met through the intranet. Hopefully, next get together, we can get all four of us, me, Paul, Rich, and Gary together. Unfortunately, Rich did Thanksgiving with his family out of state, so because Rich lives in North Florida, which it would have been a nightmare for him. He probably would have had a 15-hour drive just to get to Orlando. Based on what the traffic was looking like here, I could imagine coming from north of, you know, what's normally a 7-hour trip probably doubled. But one day we'll all four get together. Me and Paul have a planned trip in the springtime to go to Japan. So there's that. I haven't really talked about the logistics of which airport we're going to leave from, so depending on where we leave from, one of us is going to have to go. Either he'll have to fly down here and then we leave from here, or I'll have to fly up there and then we leave from there, or maybe we just meet in Japan, which that's not going to be fun. Who wants to spend a day on a plane without a friend? God dang it. So yeah, we got that to plan out, so I'm going to cut this short. I'm getting a little tired, which I'm not using that as an excuse. I just suck at this. I was hoping to get further this time around, but it doesn't appear unless by some stroke of luck I do this on this side go. I don't think I am. Ah! Here we go. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alright, I think I'm gonna end it on that one, guys. I just don't have it tonight. I'm gonna post a picture of me and Paul and Big Gary at the end of this. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't get you anywhere. Keep looking. I think I'm gonna get a cheat code for the next run through. Thanks for watching. My name has been George Coles. Have a good one.